Now there are a whole bunch of built-in functions available for lists, because there are lots of things that you can do with lists that you cannot do with tuple. And it does have the same set of, we'll start with the functions that are available both for tuple as well as list. So len will give you how many objects are there. So object must be the sequence or collection like tuple. So here again, the number of objects in the length, in the list. Okay, count, again, count function, you give a value, and then it will go through the list element by element, see how many elements are equal to what you have specified. How many elements are equal to HE? That is only one, so it gives you 1. Suppose if you specify something that is not there, so it's going to give you 0. Okay. If it is not there, it's going to give you 0. Okay. Now type, okay, it's going to give back what the type of the object is. It's going to tell you it's a list. It's the same thing we had in tuple as well. If it is a tuple, it's going to tell you, okay, the type of this object is tuple. So it says the type is list. And it is very useful because sometimes you may want to know what a particular object type is. So you use type that object and it will tell you what the type of the object is. Okay, sum gives you the sum. Okay. Sum L14 sum, I think it, let's try this. L4, this also will work, I think. No, it doesn't work. Okay, forget about that. Oh, no, I probably didn't use the right. So list has no attribute sum. Okay, so that's an attribute which doesn't work. Okay. So min, max, okay, for some min and max to work, the list has to be numeric, right? So if you have a non-numeric, it's going to give you an error. Okay. If you have none, so same thing. So it has to be all numeric. Then only sum, min, and max will work. Okay. Now, enumerate function, again, we've already seen enumerate before, and it is the same thing. You'll have two. So here it is a for loop without enumerate. So you have a tuple with 4 elements. Then you use for v in tup, then you print it. So that's your for loop. You've already seen for loop. Now with enumerate, you'll have I and v. Okay. All right. So your turn now. Create a list with letters of the string. So we have the string, oops. Okay. We have the string, and we want to create a list with letters of the string as elements. We did this in tuple too. You have to use that function. If you use tuple function, then each letter will be used as elements in the tuple. if you use the list function, it's going to do the same, give you a list back. Okay. So say LQ5 equal to, you just say list and then you print LQ5. LQ5 is just a name that I just made up. You can make up any other name that you want. Okay. So it's going to give you a list, and that list will contain the letters of the string as elements. Now, if you use print, then it will print this way, so it doesn't take up too much white space there. Okay? So write code to slice the letter of the word example from the list. So LQ5, we want to, here it is slicing. And of course, usually you don't want to manually count which position it is, but here just for the purpose of understanding slicing, we'll do that. But normally, programmatically you'll figure out usually, okay, where to start and where to end. So right now, let's just count and do the slicing. So here we're talking about slicing. So LQ5, so it will be what? Okay, start from 0, okay, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you want the 9th item in it, and therefore you have to use index should be 10, exactly. Okay. And then we have replace the elements with the letters of, again, so we want an example, okay, the letters of an example, so that will be like starting from so, well, what actually I wanted here is that. So that's what I wanted. So instead of saying an example, it will be like a great example. Okay? So replace the elements of the letters that into, well, I guess I spoke a little too early, I guess. So you don't, since A is part of both, you don't have to do anything with that. So you'll start from here and change. So this is not possible in tuple. You can only do this in list because you're modifying the list now. So LQ5, so we want to take away all of that. Okay. So which will be starting from where? From 1 all the way till 10. So then we just say, okay, we can't say oh, you could, I guess, because it is already a list, maybe. So I have replaced that part